Hello everybody, today we are racing stage 1 of the Level Up Racing series on Zwift, on Sprinters Playground in Makuri Islands. The route is short and fast, but today we have 2 laps, around 24.7 kilometers in total. On paper it looks like sprinter race, but on Zwift that can be dangerous. If the right riders attack at the right moment, a breakaway can quickly become very hard to bring back. My goal today is simple. Stay well positioned, follow the right moves, avoid getting trapped in the bunch, and try to fight for a strong result at the end. There is also one detail I don't know yet at the start. Another Ghost Team rider, Samuel, is in the race too. And depending on how the race unfolds, that could change the way I have to ride behind. So, will Sprinter Playground really come down to a bunch sprint, or will a tactical move change everything? Let's find out. We are only 19 riders on the start line, and as often happens on Zwift, the start is pretty nervous and the pace goes up quite quickly. Very early on, a few riders start trying to move off the front of the bunch and create the first breakaway group. On my side, I prefer to stay a bit further back, save some energy and maybe wait for the right attack. At that moment, I also realized that there is a Ghost Team rider in the race, Samuel. He's a very good sprinter and I used to racing with him. So I start thinking that I need to race smart and maybe play it a bit more like a team race. At kilometer 2.1, Samuel launched an attack at over 10 watts per kilo. He clearly sees that the riders up the road is starting to get away, and he tries to jump across to him. He really digs deep to close the gap, and another rider quickly follows, trying to get onto Samuel's wheels and bridge across as well. That move is going to create the breakaway, which, as you see, we stay at the front of the race for a very long time. At that point, I immediately regret not following the move. I waited too long, but more importantly, I was badly positioned. Too far behind Samuel to be able to get on this wheel. So I decided that, for now, I'm going to stay sheltered in the bunch and not take any pulls. First because I don't want to help bring the peloton back to him, but also because I want to save energy and maybe try to jump across a bit later. On the only real climb of the day, the peloton finally lights up and starts chasing the front group hard. We hit the climb absolutely full gas. Very quickly, the gap starts coming down. It melts away. From around 20 seconds, we bring it back to less than 12 seconds from the front of the race. And honestly, that was probably the moment when I should have tried to jump across. But once again, I stayed in the wheels, hesitate, and make the wrong decision. At the end of the first lap, the breakaway has more than 25 seconds on the peloton. The only positive thing at this point is that Samuel is still up front, and Maxi, the German rider, is starting to drop and has lost contact with the front group. So now, there are only 3 riders left at the front. But behind, even with a few small attacks here and there, the peloton doesn't really seem able to bring them back. So I start trying a few little moves myself, like this one at the beginning of the second lap, just to see if another riders want to come with me and maybe try to bridge across to the front group. But every time I go, the whole peloton follows, and I really don't want to drag everyone back to Samuel. At kilometer 19, because I'm not a really pure sprinter, I decide to launch a small attack, a little move off the front. The idea is that maybe I can put a few riders under pressure, speed the group a bit, and reduce the number of people I have to face in the final sprint. What is a good decision? Looking back, I don't think so. I think I lacked a bit of clarity there. The breakaway up front is already too far away, and on my home, there is no way I'm going to close that gap in just few kilometers. That being said, you can see that the group behind starts to split a little. So the move did hurt some riders. But it also hurt me. So in the end, I think I probably burned one more match than anything else, especially because it's happened just before the climb, where the peloton eventually come back to me. And indeed, right from the bottom of the climb, a few riders start pushing really hard and begin to move away at the front of the group. 2 riders go clear. I'm already pretty much on the limit, so I try to hang on to the small group behind. I can also see that some riders behind are starting to get dropped. At this point, we have to start chasing those 2 riders. The podium is probably already looking complicated now, but there is still 4th or 5th place to fight for, and there are less than 5 kilometers to go. So we need to bring those 2 riders back, and it's going to take a big effort. Honestly, I got countered pretty hard there. Looking back, trying to attack just before this climb was really not the right move. With 1.5 kilometers to go, Maxi, the German rider who was in the early breakaway before getting dropped from it, tries to make the classic late attack. He goes really hard, puts down a big effort and quickly opens a small gap on the rest of the peloton. The group immediately starts chasing. The bunch stretch out, everyone is pushing hard, trying to bring back Maxi back. Eventually, he gets caught with about 1 kilometer to go. And now, it's all about staying focused until the final sprint. In just a few seconds, we are going to fight to the top 5. And the sprint kicks off very early with about 500 meters to go. The Dutch rider launches a small attack and opens a little gap on the rest of the bunch. The chase starts immediately, led by Maxi, who is clearly still very strong, followed by the Spanish rider Huzala, the Japanese rider P2 Hands, and I jump onto the wheels. Now the sprint is fully on. There are only 100 meters left. Everyone is starting to fade. Riders are cracking everywhere. Can I come around another line? And that it's over. So in the end, Samuel wins the race from the breakaway, which is a great result for the Ghost team. For me, I finished 5th overall and 2nd in the peloton sprint. I clearly missed the winning move early on, mostly because I was badly positioned and too far from Samuel when he jumped across. After that, I had to race a bit differently. I didn't want to chase too hard and bring the whole bunch back to him, so I tried to save energy and look back for another opportunity. I made a few moves, but nothing really stuck. In the final, I still managed to fight for the best possible place from the bunch. So personally, a solid top 5 and collectively, a great win for Samuel and the Ghost team. Let me know in the comments, would you have chased or protect the rider up the front? Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe to Water Daddy for more Zwift racing, tactics, breakaway and sprint finishes. See you!